Since the release of her debut single, Baby One More Time, back in January of 1999, it didn't take long for Britney Spears to become one of the most sought-after musical artists of her generation. And although the Princess of Pop hasn't made music for quite some time now, this hasn't stopped her from making waves with a high-intensity legal battle currently ongoing, with the intention of gaining autonomy over her finances and body. But what do we really know about this legal trouble that Britney has found herself in, and what has she said on record for all of us to hear? Well, whether you're a follower of the Free Britney hashtag or just want to know more about this complicated legal procedure, stay right where you are, as we're about to explore everything there is to know about this abusive conservatorship hers and how she can escape it. So strap yourselves in and get ready for a bumpy ride, as things are about to get interesting. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on any of the new videos we post. The start of it all. As we mentioned earlier, Britney Spears got her first taste of stardom when she was only 16 years of age with the release of Baby One More Time. The likability of this track, along with its impressive music video, caused it to propel itself to the top of the global pop charts in next to no time. And despite the incredible talent that has come through in recent years, Britney's debut album of the same name remains the best-selling album by a teenage solo artist in over 20 years, which is an achievement of note. Suffice it to say, that led her to taking on the title of Princess of Pop, which is quite impressive considering the other artists that she had to compete with. Just off the top of our heads, we can think of names like Christina Aguilera, Taylor Swift, and of course Lady Gaga, all of whom were defeated by the incredible talent of Britney Spears. But as they say, fame isn't everything, and this was most certainly the case for Britney. You see, she has always had a pretty strange relationship with her family, and becoming the Princess of Pop really didn't help. In fact, some would say that it placed her in a much worse mental state rife with stress and pressure. After a lifetime of getting harassed by the paparazzi and having just come out of a toxic relationship with her ex-husband Kevin Federline, Britney found herself at a crossroads, not being able to take the pressure anymore, and amidst claims from critics that she was an unfit mother, she was captured on camera shaving all of her hair off. It didn't take long for the press to jump at this information and announce in February of 2007 that she was the victim of a mental break. After a short stint in hospital and then a rehabilitation center, Britney's father, Jamie Spears, approached a Los Angeles court for a petition that his daughter be placed under his temporary conservatorship, which is later made permanent. For those of you who aren't in the know, a conservatorship is granted over those who are deemed to not be able to make their own decisions due to mental incapacity. And when it comes to Britney, this conservatorship is held both over her estate and person, essentially meaning that she cannot make any decisions for herself, regardless of whether these are of financial or personal nature. With the release of the Framing of Britney Spears documentary in February of this year, the conservatorship has become hot news, with many now calling for Britney to be free. The position of her father in the conservatorship. It's no secret that Britney has also been trying to wriggle her way out of what she has called an abusive relationship with her father, who currently stands as the primary decision maker when it comes to both her financial and personal life choices. He did temporarily step down as her personal conservator back in 2019, but this was due to health reasons, with his legal team asserting that he had done a brilliant job in assuring that his daughter was cared for throughout her life as Spotlight. As the situation stood previously, it was both Jamie Spears and the financial firm Bessemer Trust who acted as co-conservators of Britney, but recently Bessemer Trust stated that they would no longer be taking on the position. This was shortly after Britney stood to the stand in a specialty court case a few weeks ago, where she spoke out against how terrible life had been under the thumb of this conservatorship. Being the first time that Britney has ever spoken out about this situation, the public listened in anticipation and heartbreak, finally realizing just how bad things had gotten. But as we mentioned earlier, her father still maintains that his control over his daughter is necessary in order for her to live a good life. She deserves to have a life. According to Britney, though, her father takes pleasure out of this ultimate control that he has over her and enjoys hurting her by refusing to allow her to live her own life. She is currently 39 years old, after all, and has been mentally stable for more than a decade. We also have to remember that Britney was made to go back to that life that caused her mental break because of a decision that was made by her father, which many fans have used as evidence to suggest that he doesn't actually care what is in her best interests. In this passionate open courtroom address that took around 20 minutes to wrap up, Britney addressed Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Brenda Penny and painted a picture of what it had been like to live under the control of her father. Something that surprised everyone in her address was that the fact that she didn't want to stop talking. According to Britney, she is so used to people ignoring what she wants or says that speaking in court on that day felt like a dream true. She then concluded with references to her conservatorship being both embarrassing and humiliating, specifically pointing out some decisions of hers that had been refused or enforced over the years. Let's take a look at these to obtain a greater understanding over it all. Number 1, being forced to lie to her fans. First things first, Britney referred to the fact that she had been forced to lie to her fans about being fine in an attempt to get them to stop calling for her freedom. She mentioned that she absolutely loved the support that she was getting from her fan base and would have very much liked to tell them the truth from the very beginning, but was refused to do so. As such, she was forced to continue posting as if everything was normal, but found a way to beat the system by leaving some cryptic clues for her fans. For those of you who don't know, the hashtag Free Britney movement has been launching investigations into Britney's social media posts for a while now, with there being many strange inferences drawn from her captions over the last couple of years. In one post, for example, Britney wore some black fishnets and a blue top, captioning the photograph with the statement, "Twisted Elegance, introducing red." Suffice it to say, fans were confused considering how there was no red in the picture at all. She then uploaded a video of herself in the same outfit captioned as, "No lipstick, blush, or foundation, because I was in a rush, but you get the idea, red." We have no idea what Britney meant by this post, but many fans from the movement have linked it to a song from Janet Jackson's 1997 album titled Twisted Elegance. What's important to note about this track is that Jackson wrote it while she was battling with depression and suffering from a mental breakdown. Another post that caused fans' ears to prick up was one of a Scrabble board which was captioned, "Can you find a word that isn't actually a word? Sometimes it's fun to make ones up." This caused fans to notice that the word quit had been spelled backwards, causing this to fuel the theory that Britney had wanted to quit performing for quite some time now, but has no ability to actually make this decision. Britney didn't necessarily speak to the truth of these conspiracy theories, but it's clear that she wasn't given the ability to truthfully tell her fans how she was feeling about things, which shows just how useful internet sleuthing was this time around, regardless of how correct the theories may have been. Number 2, being forced to feel alone. Britney also made a point of connecting the previous point to the fact that she had been forced to feel alone all of this time. Because of her inability to share her true feelings with anyone in her life, Britney herself regressed into a state of denial. According to her, this shock resulted in her being traumatized by extreme isolation, which essentially led to her being unable to sleep, adding to her mental anguish. She referenced being so angry about the situation that she cries every day, knowing fully well that she is imprisoned, nobody there to help. In other words, Britney feels an incredible amount of depression as a result of not being allowed to be her own person, which is completely understandable if we do say so ourselves. And the fact that she has been unable to tell the rest of the world about this and has led to a deterioration of her mental faculties, making the conservatorship more damaging than anything else. Number 3, being forced to remain on contraceptives. Probably one of the most hard-hitting decisions that Britney has been prevented from making for herself has to do with the IUD, which is currently preventing her from getting pregnant with her boyfriend. Her father refuses to allow her to remove this contraceptive from her body, as he believes that getting pregnant would be the worst thing possible for her. But according to Britney, this is a decision that only she can make. The fact that the conservatorship is preventing her from both marrying her boyfriend and getting pregnant with his baby is ridiculous and should never be allowed when the victim has the mental capacity to talk in front of a judge like she did. But members of the Free Britney hashtag know that the process of removing this abusive conservatorship is going to take a lot more time, regardless of how badly we all want Britney to be free from it all. In other words, we should prepare ourselves for a long journey and remain supportive of Pop Princess until the day at which she is able to live without being subjected to the control of her father. What do you think about the situation though? Be sure to let us know in the comments section down below.